Hello and welcome to the November 11th edition of Speedway Digest Thursday Night Thunder, the most hardcore motorsports program on the internet. This is episode 224 of the series. I'm your host, Adam Jason Sinclair, and on today's program, we'll be talking about Extreme E, as well as chatting about whatever other motorsports topics come into this conversation. Now, we're going to apologize first for the little bit of delay. I know that this is there was a little bit of a 30-second delay or so before the program got started today, but we are trying to get stuff organized. I don't know what's going to happen. We do have a guest scheduled for today. It should be a great guest. I've been trying to get someone from the world of Extreme E on the program for some time now, and we had originally scheduled Chris Chapman today to be on the show. He's the sales director of MyEnergy, which is the principal sponsor of the Excite Energy Racing Team, who's going to be talking a little bit more about Extreme E and maybe a little bit about Formula E. However, he is having connection issues right now. I don't know if it's related to the fact that he's calling in from Europe. The team is based out of the UK, where they're going to have the next event in the Extreme E series. I'm going to talk about that now. The event is scheduled in December along the Jurassic Coast. Should be a great race, and there's a lot of amazing things taking place there in the world of Extreme E, and this week especially, with the fact that they've got the climate summit taking place there in the UK in Glasgow, Scotland. So that's always makes it a more timely thing, and I figured it would work today, especially because of that timing. However, Mr. Chapman is unfortunately having some connection problems to the app here, and I'm trying to work that out as we speak. Hopefully he'll get connected, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what they do. Renowned for developing the world's first EV charge point capable of using 100% renewable energy, MyEnergy is a true global leader in eco-smart charging tech, shipping tens of thousands of units worldwide every month. Sponsoring the Excite Racing Extreme E team is a key tactic in helping the business demonstrate the true potential of electric vehicles and dispel historic, dated views, as well as demonstrating how motorsport is leading the way in the low-carbon future. We'd like to welcome him to the show today. However, as I stated, he is having some connection problems. I'm trying to work that out as we speak. It's not really working as well as I'd hoped. There's always a couple of gremlins out there, and the fact that I did schedule the program for 11 o'clock in the morning might be a little bit of waking up the gremlins there in their never-ending battle to try and get stuff organized. They like fighting me on this show lately, and that's one of those sort of things. Let's go ahead and let you know, of course, that we did miss out a couple of weeks here on the Speedway Digest Thursday Night Thunder because of the fact that we weren't 100% ready to be on the air 2 weeks ago. We did have some stuff going on. We were getting ready to go on a beautiful one-week cruise aboard the Carnival Mardi Gras. That was an amazing adventure, and if you'd like to learn more about that, please follow me on Facebook. You can follow For Warplum's Fantastic Finds, where I'm going to be doing a little bit of more stuff about that. And if you're interested, I'll go ahead and share some of the pictures from the tour that we took there, some of the tours we took and some of the stops we made, as well as some of the onboard activities. I'll go ahead and share that on For Warplum's Fantastic Finds. But the next big event here on this site, on Speedway Digest Thursday Night Thunder, we're going to end up doing an interview scheduled with the guy from the Olympic athlete guy who we had on a few weeks ago, which didn't quite work out. He's currently scheduled to be featured as one of the Revved Upward Waldorf features there on SpeedwayDigest.com. We might end up doing that for the Extreme E. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that he can get something organized. Podbean has been very, very good. We've only had a couple issues. One of them, of course, was Steve there from the United States Olympic team, who has the champions thing that we're going to talk about a little bit more in depth on SpeedwayDigest.com when we get that Revved Up for Waldorf story done, probably next week. But of course, we're going to try and get some stuff done here as well. We do have some leads for people here to be on the show. I'm hoping to talk to Dakota Dickerson, who's been pretty good with us this season. He's been a couple times this year. He's got another race coming up there in IMSA this week, so we can hopefully get him on the program next week. I'm hoping. So that'll be cool. Be a good wrap up for the season. As I stated, the season is starting to wrap up. Of course, NASCAR had their big race there this last weekend in Phoenix, the championship event, won by Kyle Larson. We'd like to congratulate Kyle Larson and his team, as well as Hendrick Motorsports for a dominant season. I do have my issues with Kyle Larson. I don't think he learned as much as he probably could have after his issues there on track and off. But he is a great racer. He has an amazing talent behind the wheel of not only the car in NASCAR, but the sprint cars in the Dirt Series and some of the other cars he's driving. Hopefully he has more opportunity in the future. But again, we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know if he's the best champion for right now. I think he is a pretty good champion for right now because of the fact he did dominate in the series in the regular season. He won more races than anyone else, and that's always an interesting thing when that works out. It does. But we'll see how that goes. We'd also like to invite all of you to watch the race there from Atlanta, from Road Atlanta, the Petit Le Mans, which takes place this weekend up there. That'll be the last race of the IMSA series. As I said before, I'm planning on heading to the first race of the 2022 season, which takes place late January, which is only a couple months away now. They're at the Daytona International Speedway. That'll be kind of awesome to see those cars again. Hopefully, there's some cars from Europe that are going to be there, as well as all the American cars. They're getting ready to transition to the new cars there in IMSA, both in a lot of the series and the P3 cars as well as some of the others. So that'll be kind of cool, and we're hoping that all works out. We do have as I say, we got the guy from Excite Energy Racing, who's totally going to be on the show soon. I don't think that's going to happen today, unfortunately, and I will go ahead and work that out with him in the future. We can always do a recorded interview at some point, and I might end up trying to do that and then replay it on here, which I've done in the past, although I don't think that's the best way of doing that here. I will try and do that. We'll see if we can schedule that for next week, probably next Thursday morning, and we go ahead and play it in the evening for our normal slot. That is currently what my plan is. We'll go ahead and welcome the guy from Excite Energy Racing next week, if that works for his schedule, whether it's the CEO or the director of sales and marketing. We're hoping to get one of them on the show, and I will go ahead and extend that invitation to our friends there at Excite Racing, and we'll see if that works out. Again, we're sorry that Mr. Chapman was not able to come on the show today. Connection issues do happen, and they happen last minute a lot. But as I stated, we haven't had a lot on this show this year. This calendar year, in fact, we've done very, very well, and more than 90% of the people who connect to the show have done it without any issues. We have had a couple gremlins here and there. The most notable was the one where the call basically just dropped, and that does happen. That's an internet issue, and that's one of those sort of things. Other ones have been connection issues related to their own side of things. With Steve there, with the Deborah from Waldorf earlier on in the season. So we'll go ahead and try and get that worked out, and hopefully we have a good ending to this year. Again, I'm not sure when the show season will end. I know we normally take a couple months off, December, January. So we'll see if we do that again this year. I'll have to discuss that with the webmaster here from SpeedwayDigest.com and see how that goes. It's normally not that hard to get a lot of content in the off season, especially for the sort of racing that I cover here on Speedway Digest Thursday Night Thunder and for the racing news section of Speedway Digest. But it does slow down quite a bit, and I'm sure that if you follow the website at all, you follow the show, you know that I do have some weeks where we don't cover quite as much. This week is, of course, one of those weeks, and a lot of that's just because the guest isn't going to pan out. Which is unfortunate, but that does happen on occasion. So let's go ahead, and at this time, we're going to go ahead and start to wrap up the show. Again, I'd like to congratulate Kyle Larson on his victory there in NASCAR for the 2021 Sprint Cup champion. We'd like to thank the people from Excite Racing, Extreme E, for their cooperation. I know they've worked really hard in the past few weeks to try and get on the show. Chris was really excited about coming on the show, and hopefully as I stated, we'll end up getting a phone interview done with him probably this time next week, and we'll go ahead and broadcast it in the evening at our normal time slot. I'm going to try and get this show posted as quickly as possible because I do like to have these shows online for you, the audience, to listen to at your convenience. I do apologize for the fact this is a shorter program, but again, we had some plans to try and make it a little bit longer, and it just didn't work out, whether it's app-wise or the fact he's flying in Europe, or I don't know exactly what the issue is. But for whatever reason, just wasn't able to connect today, and that's fine, and we'll go ahead and work with that as we can. We're going to go ahead and reach out to a few different people in the next few weeks and try and get some more amazing drivers and motorsports enthusiasts for you on the show to round out the 2021 season. Again, I'm not entirely sure how many shows we have left for this year. I know we're going to be off on Thanksgiving, which is only 2 weeks away now. So next week we're going to try and have a good show for you. We're going to try and get Dakota Dickerson. We're going to try and get the interview here with the Excite Racing guy, and hopefully we'll have a few other different things on the program. We're going to try and have Michael back on the show if he wasn't able to come on today because of some issues there. She's got fighting a small illness. Hopefully it's nothing too big. I know it's probably just one of those 24-hour flu type things, which are still starting to recur, but with the veil of the pandemic over everything, it's just one of those sort of things where you don't really want to get sick at all. Again, if you're interested, we're going to go ahead and have more information about our cruise on For Warplum's Fantastic Finds. That'll be located at For Warplum's Fantastic Finds.wordpress.com. I'm going to go ahead and mention that again in a second. If you're a race car driver, crew chief, pit member, track owner, maybe you're just a huge fan of the sport, contact us to get your spot on the show. After all, you deserve 15 minutes of fame, and we'd love to hear from you. I'm going to go ahead and reach out to some of the other people who've reached out to me recently and try to get them on the program. But if you're interested in coming on, if you think you have something positive to add to the discussion, please reach out to me. The easiest way to do that is go to the speedwaydigest.com in the racing news section. There you'll find articles by me, and you can go ahead and click on those articles, and that'll give you a full bio of where I've been in the world of motorsports, and it'll have an email address to contact me there. That's probably the easiest way to find me. Be sure to check out past episodes of Thursday Night Thunder, as well as the other shows on the Speedway Digest radio network at speedwaydigest.podbean.com. I know we're working on some other programs for next season. Looking forward to hearing what those are. I know that there's been some talk about that in the last few weeks, and we'll see whether I'm going to be the only guy broadcasting on this platform. I think there'll be another one, at least one more, starting next season, probably in February. You can also check out the show on Facebook by searching for Speedway Digest Thursday Night Thunder in the search bar, or simply going to facebook.com/SD Thursday Night Thunder. Also invite you to read the articles covering all aspects of motorsports at speedwaydigest.com. I'm going to try and get a couple out today. Not very many, but a couple out today. I do have some other stuff on my plate now as we're at the end of the year, trying to get some more stuff going. So we'll see how that goes in the future. In addition, if you're a fan of South Florida and who isn't, be sure to check out the latest news and information about our Slice of Paradise at my fairly new blog site, For Warplum's Fantastic Finds. I did advertise that a little bit on the cruise. I don't think I actually got anybody else to subscribe to it. I have had a couple of subscribers who have popped up in the past few days, and if you happen to be listening to the show because you are a subscriber to For Warplum's Fantastic Finds, welcome. We do talk a little bit about local attractions and events on this podcast, but we try to keep most of that on the website. The website, of course, can be found on Facebook at For Warplum's Fantastic Finds, on Twitter at For Warplums or at PB Happening, and by heading to For Warplum's Fantastic Finds.wordpress.com. That is FABORPLUMBS, Fantastic Finds.wordpress.com. Once again, we thank you for listening and look forward to seeing you again next week in the Thunderdome as we discuss the major issues in the world of modern auto racing. Next week might be our wrap-up show for this year, although I'm not entirely sure, and we'll see how that goes. But again, we'd like to thank the guy from Excite Racing. Hopefully we can get him on the show next week. We'll try for that. And we're going to try and get a few other amazing motorsport people on the show to wrap up November, which is kind of interesting that it's coming that quickly, but that's how it goes. And we'll try and get some good people on in December as well. I don't know how long we'll have in December to be on this program, but hopefully we'll have at least one or two shows. And hopefully we'll bring Michael back as well to wrap up the year. Thanks again for listening, and we'd like to thank the people at Podbean as well as the people from SpeedwayDigest.com for allowing us to be on the air with you at least for a few minutes every week or so. Thanks again, and have a great day.